and we apologize, Lisa and I. I was saying we apologize if we preempted some of the clips. Unfortunately, we did. I realize. But before we conclude, and we ask you guys if you got any question for Lisa Camillo, the couple that we saw previously, the gentleman and the lady, they were talking about the fact that the polygon cost, or rather to rent, and the cost 55,000 euro per hour, have lost their son. There was a military capitulada. And I just wanted to add this because otherwise, in order to put it into context for you, that there has been a lot of people that died, 337 military died for leukemia or lymphoma or other problems, and that is obviously a tragedy. Lisa, where is this documentary Balentes is going to now?
Well, as you can see, it's not finished completely. In fact, there were some maps missing, so we're still waiting from our partners to finish that. And the some sounds are still not quite right. But anyway.
So this was a world preview, eh?
I mean, yeah, it was actually. So what we're going to do, we're just trying madly to finish it for the 30th of April. And then I'm going to Rome, meet with Rai. And then I'm heading to, I'm participating to the Cannes Film Festival. We still don't know if we got selected yet because the results are not out yet. But I'm going to be there to meet with the distributors and sales agents. And then we'll see. And then we're still going to be submitting it as it comes available, different deadlines for festivals. But we've also been talking to the to Palace Cinemas. Hopefully they came here tonight. I'm not sure, but yeah. So and also with the Venice Film Festival. So
Cannes, Venice Film Festival, Tribeca.
Yeah.
All of them.
Yeah, I'll try Sundance too.
Now, Lisa, if I ask you to come here and you pass me your microphone, and I'll do the round. If there's any question from anybody.
Thank you. I'm interested in the production side of things. Will it be a feature-length documentary? And what is your plan? Where do you start? And you nominated so many festivals and that, and where do you see it happening first?
Yeah, it is a feature length. It's about now 84 minutes. So we're just going to be submitting them as the one we're really selecting, the major ones. And I think there is a lot of interest. It's quite an interesting story. It's a story, I think, that you can translate it to other regions of Italy, of the world. We want people to really stand up and say, hey, that's my story too, I can do that too. So at the end of the film, as you probably, there was a couple of other slide after this. It's about, we want to create a movement, find your Balentes, hashtag. So we want to know other people's stories and create really a movement. And also another thing we want to create is a petition that everybody can sign, probably linked to our page. But any suggestion from you guys, I'd love to hear. So as it's a community, everybody's contribution will be really, really appreciated.
Thank you very much for tonight. That's very interesting. As you know, the Italian political situation is going through a kind of change, and which could be, a change is always a good thing, I believe, actually. And what do you think about the effect of those changes in the perception from a political standpoint, from what will be eventually the new government in Italy, and the support that they could provide you for this kind of activities? Because it seems that what is coming up now in Italy is a bit detached from the usual establishment. So do you think there could be some positive outcome for your project?
I think so too. Look, I'm trying to stay away from politics, from Italian politics, because I wanted to have a grassroots effect. I want the people to protest and go up to the high levels instead of top down. I believe that's the best way. It is like in community development in general in poor countries and things like that. But it is interesting because a lot of people said that maybe the Movimento 5 Stelle might support something like this because there've been some environmentalists in there. I don't know. To be honest, I'm trying to stay away from politics because it is about politics, but it's about the communities, it's the strength of the communities and the power that we have at the bottom.
Any more questions?
Just wanted to ask, as a human being, did these families who lost loved one have any compensation from government?
That's a great question, yeah.
And second question about strikes in Sardinia. I saw on TV last time, I think in October last year, about when holiday season finished, they started to actually protest in whole Sardinia. I saw it with my own eyes.
Yeah, they're starting
Do you know
it.
about it, and when don't you use it in your film?
You haven't seen it. Maybe we have it already.
Ah, good.
Yeah. Yeah, so compensation. Yes, we have those protests, absolutely. It's all about being courageous. And the whole end of the film is about, celebrating those people that are protesting. And everybody that we interviewed is incredibly courageous, except the politicians that support the military. But the ones that we are, they're all Balentes, they're all great people. So in terms of compensation, they ended up winning. There is a family that we have here that ended up winning. But apparently they've been waiting for the money for 10 years or something. Another parents that we interviewed as well, they've been trying to delay the court appearing, and they've been trying to change the responsible person. I don't know exactly what is the technical term, but the appointed judge or something, they keep changing it. So every time they've been waiting for 15 years or something. So they finally, saying that they're kind of compensating people, but in reality they're not. Yeah. Yeah. There is, for example, if you want to know little things that we haven't put, you haven't seen it all thing, but, another thing that we haven't put, for example, that I think was pretty shocking, but it was just the length of the thing, we couldn't put everything that we wanted. But one of the things was that you saw, no, you didn't see, sorry. There was another person was the responsible spokesperson from the Italian Defense Force. And I actually saw the document that the military, that the commanders, the generals gave, the people responsible for communicating with the public, And in that document, it said, if a journalist asks you why there are malformations in Sardinia, you have to answer is because Sardinians are incestuous. So they do with the cousins. I have cousins in Sardinia. I don't do it with them. So another one, it was like, oh, what about, we haven't showed you the bombs that we found on the water, under these beautiful waters that, in these military bases that they're full of tourists in summer. And so we just put a GoPro for those that don't know, it's a little camera that you can put on the water. So we didn't know what we call it. We just say we'll just go with the motoscafo, with the dinghy, and we'll just put the camera on the water and see if we catch anything, if it's true what they say. And then we went, back to the studio and we saw the footage, and there was missiles in the water. It was shocking. So in that document for the public, for the media, for the question, what you're doing, you know, you're shooting in the water, are you destroying the ecosystems? You have to answer, oh no, we actually, you know, the bombs are breaking, you know, the rocks and they're creating more caves for fish. So it's actually a good thing. I'm not sure about that, but anyway. Yeah, so actually one time my dad went in one, my dad went in one of those locations years ago. And after my dad saw the whole film, he was like, Lisa, you know, I went there a few, you know, 5, 6 years ago with your mom. And we ended up fishing a lot of sea urchins. Ricci di mare. And we ate a lot of them. And oh my God, maybe that they were contaminated. So, you know, it's scary. It's really scary and has to stop. I don't like when they say, oh, they're going to put more regulations. First of all, I don't believe it. And second, I want them out. You know, we are Italians. We are against war. You know, we are against war. So why we have all these military bases still, well, why, we know why, but we don't want them. They have to go, that's it. Any more questions?
Hello, Lisa. I want to congratulate with you for your job, for your great job.
Thank you.
I just want to ask you a question, which is as well a suggestion. Do you think there is any way that you can put all together those, sorry for my voice, it's very low. There is any way that you can put all together those bits and pieces from different countries and part of the world that have been affected by the depleted uranium and thorium?
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
And creating a movement in that way that will give you a bit of strength. Have you tried that way already?
That's true. No, not yet. No, we've been so busy finishing this film. No, not yet, but it's a great suggestion, absolutely. We got connected to a doctor in Afghanistan, and he is actually, he's the one that shot all those photos of Mafon babies due to depleted uranium. And, you know, and that could be a start of a collaboration, definitely. Yeah. Unfortunately, though, you know, it's Arab countries and they're not as important as the West, you know, unfortunately, as some conceptions is. Yes.
Hi, Lisa. That was a great documentary. And I just want to ask, do you think, has there been any talk from Rome as to any talk of giving some of that 55,000 euros per hour money back to Sardinia? And if it were discussed, do you think that might change Sardinian public opinion on the military bases at all in any way?
Look, if you watch the film, the entire film, you just don't want to accept it. The cost of health is too great, you know? And I know it is a great point because it is scary. When you don't have enough money, you would accept crumbs, you know. In fact, there is a debate there. We have, for example, fishermen that get compensated for not fishing there because of bombing. And he was like, well, we want them. That's great, you know. And if I die, I die. If, you know, what can you do? But at least I can provide for my family. Which is it's really terrible that poor people have to compromise, and really unfair.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, no, we got one more.
Hi. I don't know if it's a question, but there's 55,000 euros, which equates to roughly €500 million a year. Fine. But what actually is really just caught me, there's roughly one missile every 2 hours that explodes roughly in Sardinia, respect to what was said in the which is incredible. This is fantastic. Don't you think also a social campaign? Because that's what disgusts me more. Money coming back, that only helps you up to a certain point. It doesn't bring children back.
Absolutely. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, completely. We need, this is going to be a movement, you know, it's not going to be just a film. We want things to change. Was that your point? Yeah. Yeah, that's why we have, you know, platforms on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook. We have our pages. Then we have also our pages afterwards if you want to show them. Just yeah, there it is. So yeah, connect, like our page, because the more we are, the better it is, and the more we can get more attention and more audiences, and of course, it's not just Sardinia. You know, it's all different communities that are affected all over the world. So we want to have this as a social movement, have Balentes everywhere.
Well, you've got at least 99% of Italians that don't know about this.
Yeah, it's true. It's shocking. Like when I started doing the film, you know, shooting the film, everybody was like, "What? They're military base in Sardinia?" And I was like, "You were in Italy, but how didn't you know this?" And they were shocked. They were completely shocked. I was like, "But Sardinia, I go there on holidays." One thing I want to say though, Sardinia is safe. You know, if you go in other parts of Sardinia, it's safe. It's only in this, you know, in these areas. So, you know, I'm going there. I want to live there again. I miss it. You know, it's a paradise. And yeah, you should definitely visit it. It's beautiful. And that's why it's unfair and really upsetting.
Well, we thank very much Lisa Camillo. And to conclude this gathering, we'll invite Paolo Lostia, the president of the Sardinian Cultural Association, Luca Maria Esposito from Nomit, and Laura Napolitano from the director of the Italian Cultural Institute to, you know, sum up things. Thank you very much for coming.
I'm not summing up anything. It's much more complicated for me to handle. I just want to say just very quickly, thank you to Dottoressa Napolitano for hosting us here this evening. Thank you to Nomit for believing in what's turned out to be a very informative evening. We've been at this for a couple of years. I'll leave you till last, Lisa. And thank you to Riccardo, who is part of the Sardinian Cultural Association, and he's always available to use his skills. Just very quickly, Sardinian Cultural Association, we're one of these traditional groups that grew from the early days of migration. We're trying to reinvent ourselves, and this is an example in presenting something of this nature in collaboration with other institutions. For example, at the moment, we're also developing a student exchange with Marcelin College. A month ago, we had an exhibition of Sardinian masks at Coaset, just to give an example. Secondly, we exist thanks to the region, despite, you know, what we say. They financially support us, and this initiative this evening fits in nicely because these days, in the old days, it was about getting together, having a barbecue and talking Sardinian. Now it's about promoting Sardinia, promoting Sardinian talent. And in this case, Lisa's got Sardinian talent, Australian talent, so that's a double banger. And last but not least, can I just say, perhaps showing my age, I'm pleased that I see young people talking about having a voice, having courage to speak up. And Lisa, obviously, through her project. I think and I'll speak about the Italian community in the main, we should do more of that. My age and younger age, let's not just speak up when we're called mafiosi, let's also speak up on social issues, whether it's asylum seekers, whether it's the environment, or whether it's work conditions, or whatever it is. Let's not be afraid to speak up. Thank you very much.
Just a very brief salutation, and just to explain that when NOMIT was established, our aim was to support a new idea of community, and a community grounded in its cultural background, but aim to build a bridge between generation here and between contemporary Italy and contemporary Australia, shaping a correct perception and image of the Italian cultural society future perspective. And I think that today we achieve part of our aim. And I would say just many thanks to NOMIS volunteers that make this possible tonight. And thank you for being here tonight. And thanks to Laura and Dottoressa Napolitano, Lisa, and the Sardinian Cultural Association, and Paul. Thanks for everyone. And please enjoy the light refreshment.
We just got a small
Paul,
gift from
prepare.
Lisa to remember the evening.
Grazie a tutti.
Yeah, really, thank you so much, Luca. Thanks, everybody. You've done, such a great job. And thank you so much for coming tonight, really. It was really important for me. Thank you.